Good morning, everybody. And I'm going to say that again because we're always have this little delay going on. And I want to make sure that each and every one of you hear good morning to you. And so hi, do thumbs up, send hearts, let us know you're there. We love it when you do that. And the we of this is because you get to see me, but you don't get to see Nancy. And one of these days we may change that.
No.
No. Okay, she's that voice. You know, if you listen to, what is it, Big Bang Theory, and the mom was always yelling at, she doesn't yell at me, but she'll be that voice in the background. Good morning, Nancy. How are you?
Good morning, Cherry. I'm great. How are you today?
Oh my gosh, Nancy, I am so tired. And so this is going to be a short show today. I had to do a sleep study last night and use the mask for sleep apnea. Oh my goodness. You know, I'm going to have to focus on sending beautiful health into my throat and bringing those muscles back out because those masks are horrible. And then I had all this goop in my hair. So I had to go to the little girl's room in the middle of the night, and here's this hair sticking up like this, and I've got this contraption on. I look like I should be in a space movie somewhere. I might have been the Martian.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
So we've got a topic that you and I thought we might want to cover today, and it's the one called self-care. You posted it on the Facebook group and also sent out an email about this topic, and we've been getting some responses. And so what is it about self-care that is so hard for us, especially as women?
Oh my gosh. And especially women of a certain age. It's getting a little easier with the younger kids because they have a different training. Yet if you think about everything we heard growing up and what we witnessed or felt, we've had that it's better to give than to receive. Don't take the biggest piece. You wait your turn. You were greedy, egotistical, self-centered. If you stepped up and did something, there were reprimands. But, you know, what people don't realize is we also have those unspoken messages. And as kids, we are so connected intuitively and empathically. So things that were going on in the minds of those around us, we were picking up on. And some of it was subtle energy, subtle thought, but we're still getting the same message. You're at the end of the line. Everybody else comes first. Yet, you know, one of the things we talk about, and everybody, listen. This has been years we've been talking about this. And so it's time to break down those barriers. And if you need to, do it in baby steps. Your world is a reflection of what is going on inside of you. And if you put yourself last all the time, you create situations in which you are not considered or thought of. And, you know, putting yourself first doesn't mean you become this egomaniac. It means you start honoring who you are. And as you are one of all, connected to the all, and you honor the self, love the self, care for the self, use compassion, understanding, you send that out to every soul on earth and beyond. It is important to remember this. Remember the divine beauty you are, the divine life force you are. Acknowledge that. And as you do, you acknowledge all life. And that's why a lot of people are asking, what's going on? What's going on? You know, everything's so shook up. It's because this doesn't serve us anymore. And what does not serve us is becoming very uncomfortable, very constricted and restricted, so that we'll stop and look at it and let it fall away. Go to your hearts, folks. You know, this up here, this beautiful computer called a brain, has stored information. The heart has even more stored information, but it's of the essence. And when you go to the heart, you do what's perfect for you and all concerned. So,
How do we go to the heart? What does that mean?
I'm going to use an example because we're really taught and trained to do. And this was years ago when my husband was in the hospital. He had colon cancer and he was not doing well. My group told me I didn't get to step in and hold the energy. I didn't get to interfere. And I walked into the hospital room one day. He'd had another surgery. It did not work. He was in bed. He was in pain. The medication, he was so over-medicated. He was depressed. He didn't want to talk. It was awful. And as I opened the door, I thought, well, if I can't, do anything, send him energy or assist, what can I do? And I heard the words, go to your heart. And I thought, oh, I'm always in my heart. Well, to the best of my human ability, I'm in my heart. And I heard it again and said, no, go to your heart. So I sat next to him, took his hand because we always held hands. And then all I did was see him and myself holding hands, and right in my heart chakra, right in the center. I didn't do anything. I didn't think anything. I didn't put any expectation on it. I just held it there. Just this image. And a little bit later, I had to get up and go to the little girl's room. And when I came out, Rob was sitting up in bed. He was pain-free. His eyes were bright and sparkling. He was smiling. And he wanted to talk. And the only thought that went through my head was, he went to his heart. It isn't about doing. It's about being. You have something going on in your heart, in your life that you don't know what to do with it. Step out of the mind. Just see an image in your heart. That energy will carry it forward. And you'll hear or feel or know what to do that is absolutely perfect. And everybody, surprising as this may be, and as uncomfortable as this may be, you don't get to do anybody else's life for them. And that's one of the things that sidetracks people. They're going, well, I'm doing this, I'm in my heart, so they should be all better. It's always individual choice. We don't have the whole soul contract for each person on earth or beyond, or beyond, and it isn't ours to interfere with. So we may think we know what's best for them, yet that's not always the case.
Great.
It's really, well, this is the thing, is being an empath like I am, and I know there's an audience out there, and there's energy coming in, as I was doing that last part, everybody started, well, not everybody, but quite a few people started holding their breath. Okay, folks.
I did.
That's it. I'm going, you don't breathe. I have a little difficulty with it. But the thing about it is, what is breath for humankind? Life. You don't breathe, you die. So when you hold your breath, there is a part of life. Or if you have a catch in your breath, you have difficulty breathing. So ask what part you're holding out or back from.
Wonderful. All right, we said this was going to be a short show, so we're done. No.
Okay. Hi, guys.
We do have a number of questions, and people, I just so you know, if you're asking questions right now in the chat, I'm sorry, we're not going to get to them today because Cherry is going to model for us the self-care that she's talking about and take care of herself after she had a night of weird or no sleep with some weird contraptions. So we're going to move on to Juliana had a question about she'd been invited to attend a year-long discussion group based on the divine Sophia. While it might give me a chance to find local women friends, I'm getting a red flag like Dorothy's red slippers and remembering the reminders from the ancients. It feels like I already have the knowledge, power, magic, love inside me. Can you shed some light on whether this might be beneficial for me?
Juliana, I love that you recognize that you have all of this information there. The year-long program is going to be a little constricting for you, yet it is going to be good for you because it does build community. It also allows information to come in from other people's perspective, but you to be able to benefit other people. It is, I'm supposed to tell you patience, 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 because there's going to be some people that don't quite get what you know and understand. So this is, in some respects, a training field for you. If you choose not to do the year-long, see if there's a 6-month, but it really assists you. So that's what I get. And, there's not a darn thing wrong with red shoes.
I have some.
I know, and Dorothy sparkled. And you have to admit, she learned and grew from her experience.
That's right. And made friends.
And made friends, yes.
Elizabeth has got one more question about her raw land in North Carolina. We realize that we need an agent to sell it, but do we need to put money into cleaning up the greenery before it will sell? It would be such a blessing to help our financial situation. Thank you for your loving, generous help.
Yeah, I get that it's not a huge amount of work or task to clean it up some, but yes, get it cleaned up. Have it as presentable as possible. But let's send some energy into that land right now. Let's send some sparkle and some life to it, and just send that energy out to the prospective buyer and the buyers. And I'm glad you also recognize needing an agent, because it'll just sit underneath things if you don't use an agent. This is a good property. Look at it as that. Right now it feels like a weight around your throat, and that's what they're saying, around your throat. And so let go of that idea. See it as a benefit to all, to your family, to those who buy it, and let's get that moving and going.
Great. Because there is somebody out there that really wants that, right?
That's it. And, by adding that energy, it just opens the door for them to see it. We forget that, when we're thinking, oh, this is hard, oh, this is difficult, nobody's going to see it. We are covering things up. We're holding it down instead of, wow, look at this. Not only is there one person, there is 5 people who want this property, and allow it to come in and be gone.
Wonderful.
From your hand. Passed off.
And now we have a question from, is it Chappelle?
Yes.
Okay. How can I get my friend back in my life? What do I do? They've been friends for 5 years. Is something with the moon we are having had so much bad luck with family and friends? What's going on these days?
Well, you're right, Chappelle. There's a whole lot going on. It's the moon, it's Mercury retrograde was just in effect, and it really, Nancy's laughing at me, but I have an attraction to astrology, but it does garble communications. And if I remember right, there was something about calling this person by the wrong name. I call a lot of my friends by the wrong name. They don't dump me from their life. They just look at me and go, you really don't know who I am by now? And, so one, let go of that idea. It feels as if your friend isn't out of your life. There's just some other issues going on in that person's life. And there is a lot of ups and downs. And I'm going to go back to the message from a little bit earlier, that the time we are in, if we are in situations that do not support us, they become very uncomfortable and restrictive and constrictive, so that we will look at these situations. We will go in and process what's going on with us, and then move into a life that is much more supportive. So anything that's giving you a really hard time, stop and check in with the self, ask what's going on, and then let that information come up.
And go into your heart.
Yes, take it to your heart. There you go.
I'm learning.
Yes, you are. The truth of the matter is, nobody's learning anything. We are remembering. All of this information lives inside of us. And I used to have a friend that would ask me a question, and I'd give them the answer, whatever answer came in. They go, oh, I know. And they'd ask another question. They go, I know. And, being human, I'm finally looking at them going, hold it. if you know all of this, why are you asking me questions? I was being kind of I was irritated. And they looked at me and said, somewhere inside of me, I know this information. I'm just affirming it. So when you get the information, I know it. I know that.
Great. Thanks for the reminder.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a good reminder for Michelle and all of us that many of us, Michelle, she says she's really been down on herself lately. And again, many of us have been we're in that place right now. She and her husband are struggling financially, and she has been very depressed. So she would really appreciate and be grateful to hear good news about the days ahead. And thank you for everything that you do, Cherry.
Oh, thank you. The thing about it is loving who you are. Give yourself a break. When there's problems, financial, career, relationship, we tend to go into it and it becomes a very personal thing that we really work at, instead of understanding that we're supported, we're loved. And if we just allow that to come in, things pick up. I was a single parent for years, and money was the tightest thing. I would barely make it from one month to the other. And I'd go, if I just could make it. Did you hear that? If I could just make it. So each month I'd be just making it. And each month I'd go, phew. And then I shifted, and it was like, oh, bless what I have, and much, much more. And understand that we go through cycles and not add a lot of fear to it. Sweetie, life is picking up. I want you, and this is what we're talking about, self-care. Do things for yourself. First of all, unload all the burdens from your shoulders. You're taking on everything. You don't want anybody else to worry or have to be uncomfortable. Or do you really think you can do that? And how is it benefiting you? It isn't. So let's do, I was doing a thing yesterday on gratitude. And it's amazing the power of gratitude. And look at the smallest things to the largest things you have in your life and be grateful. Really appreciate it. Ask why you appreciate it, and then stop and think for a moment, I can't talk. Anyway, a moment, and think about on something that you really love. What was going on with you at that time that you attracted it into your life? And bring that energy back up. Yes, this is a time that is uncomfortable for many, many, many people, myself included at times. Just know we're in change, at times in what they call flux. I always like that word. It's kind of fun. And what doesn't support us is going to be uncomfortable, so that we will go in, do our inner work, and find why the situation is in our life and how to be able to process and let that old energy go. Practice smiling, honey. Just practice smiling. Look in the mirror, smile at your reflection. Your husband, smile at him. I know he's going to look at you like you might be just a little crazy if you go around smiling all the time. Yet it'll shift that energy, and the next thing you know, both of you will be smiling. Financially, things do begin picking up, but it's showing more around November, December. You don't have to hold on to that. Bring it to you now. We attract in what we focus the most attention on and what our beliefs are the strongest. So when you're going into that depressed and negative state, one, don't ignore it. Go in and find out what's going on with you. But then shift your focus to something positive, something beautiful. Your energy rises. And then remember, you're supported by all life. None of you are left without. You feel as if you are, and as if you have been left to strive and walk through life in what is called the muck and the mire. Darling ones, we are here supporting you. Open your hearts to you, and then you feel us. Allow yourselves to receive. This is what we talk about in the old self-care, the idea of un-self-care, of resistance to receiving. As you allow yourself to receive and say thank you, more comes into your life. And right now, my little dog wants to receive. He's wanting to get out of his kennel. Can you guys hear him? He's letting it know. See, he has no problem with self-care. He's in there screaming, going, take care of me, let me out of here. So, now, is there one more question that I vaguely remember about astral projection?
Yeah, there was. Callie had one. Where do I tend or like to astral travel while sleeping, and how might it be serving me? Could it serve me in my waking life?
Well, this is, I love this question. We could do a whole topic and show on this. Nobody stays in their body when they go to sleep at night, and we don't go to just one place. We may go and visit and share information with somebody else, or we may receive trainings from others. We're with our guides, it's just this amazing, amazing journey. We're out of the bodies, out of this idea that we have to be stuck here. And so, Kelly, you're all over the place. How is it serving you? You're bringing in information, but it's information that helps you process and live this life more fully, to give out information to others. And sometimes you're just in the space of being. You put it out there that you remember in the morning where it is you go, and just see what comes to you. I did this once, and I asked my angels to wake me up whenever I was, when it was something I felt was important, and there was a key word, I felt. I was being woke up all night long, so I don't do that one anymore. But it's like, I wanted to see where I'm going. Ask your angels to wake you up, and so that and at a point you remember where you have been and where you are.
Maybe that's the key. Remember, not necessarily waking up, right?
Yes. Hold it in your memory. Yeah. I wanted to do it the hard way, apparently. Who needs that sleep? I'm just going to wake up all night long. I learned really quick not to do that one anymore.
Well, you did it again last night.
Oh my gosh, guys, you should, like I said, I had the mask, had all these wires coming off me. I woke up, I had wires around my arms, around my neck. Oh, I was a mess. It was not fun.
So with that, we're going to let you get some self-care and take care of, as you're pointing to your throat.
And guys, there is probably not going to be an early after show because I'm going to go lay down. So come back next week and we will
continue the wonderful conversation.
That's what we will do. See, my eyes want to close right now. Love you all. Thank you for joining me. Perfect.
Thanks, and remember, everyone. See you next week.
Yes, and remember how important you are. Bye.